After watching this story, you may finally understand why helping everyone while forgetting yourself can slowly destroy you. The morning Daniel collapsed, the sun was bright. Too bright for something so wrong. People said later that it came without warning, but that wasn't true. The signs had been there for years. They were just quiet, ignored, pushed aside in the name of kindness. Daniel fell on the narrow path outside his house, a bag of food still hanging from his hand. It was meant for someone else, as always. His knees hit the ground first, then his body followed, heavy and tired, like it had finally decided it could no longer carry everything alone. As he lay there, breathing shallowly, one thought crossed his mind, clear and painful. I never learned how to take care of myself.
This is Beyond Stories, where every story carries a lesson, and every lesson touches the heart. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could inspire your next step. Now, let's go deeper into the story.
Daniel had always been known as the generous one, the helper, the man who never said no. From a young age, people learned that if you asked Daniel, he would try. If you needed help, he would show up. If you were in trouble, he would sacrifice his comfort without thinking twice. His heart was wide, open, and always available. But a heart, no matter how kind, can wear out. Daniel grew up in a modest home where helping others was praised more than protecting yourself. His parents taught him to share, to give, to think of others first. Those lessons were good, but incomplete. No one ever taught him where to draw the line. No one explained that even the strongest hands need rest. As a child, Daniel gave away his lunch to classmates who forgot theirs. He stayed late after school to help others study, while his own homework waited unfinished. Teachers admired him. Friends relied on him. He felt useful, and usefulness became his identity. As he grew older, the pattern followed him like a shadow. In his 20s, Daniel worked long hours, not just at his job, but in life. Family members came to him for money. Friends came for advice. Neighbors came for favors. He listened to problems late into the night, even when his eyes burned with sleep. He lent money he could not afford to lose. He carried burdens that were never his to carry. Whenever someone said, "You're such a good person," his chest felt warm. That warmth slowly replaced rest. Daniel told himself he was fine. He told himself that his tiredness was temporary, that once everyone else was okay, he would finally focus on himself. But there was always another problem, another emergency, another hand reaching out. He ignored the headaches. He ignored the back pain. He ignored the quiet voice inside that begged him to slow down. Self-care felt selfish to him. Rest felt like betrayal. Saying no felt like abandoning people. So he kept going. Years passed, and the cracks grew wider. Daniel's smile remained, but it took effort now. His laughter sounded thinner. He woke up tired and went to bed exhausted. Some nights, he stared at the ceiling, wondering why his life felt so heavy when all he did was help. The truth was simple, but painful. He was pouring from an empty cup. One evening, Daniel sat alone in his small room after helping 3 different people in one day. He had skipped meals, ignored calls from his own doctor, and postponed his own plans again. His phone buzzed with another request. He stared at it, his fingers hovering over the screen. For the first time, he felt something new: resentment. It scared him. He hated that feeling, so he pushed it down and answered the message. He said yes, like always, but something inside him grew quieter that night. A part of him that once felt alive now felt distant, like a light slowly fading. People rarely noticed Daniel's struggle. To them, he was strong, reliable, always there. No one asked how he was doing because he never complained. He had trained the world to believe he didn't need care. Then came the day he collapsed. The bag of food spilled onto the ground as neighbors rushed to his side. Someone called for help. Someone else shook their head and said, "He does too much." As Daniel was taken away, people spoke of his kindness, his generosity, his good heart. But kindness without boundaries had cost him his health. Recovery was slow, painfully slow. Daniel lay in a quiet room for weeks, forced to rest for the first time in years. At first, he felt guilty. He worried about everyone else. He wondered who would help them now. He checked his phone constantly, even when his body begged him to sleep. Messages came in. Some asked how he was. Most asked when he would be back. That moment, clarity arrived. Daniel realized something that hurt more than his illness. Many people loved what he did for them, not who he was. His value, in their eyes, was tied to his usefulness, and he had created that image by never choosing himself. As his body slowly healed, his mind began to change. He thought about all the times he ignored his own needs, all the dreams he postponed, all the rest he denied himself. He understood now that generosity should not be a slow form of self-destruction. Helping others should not mean abandoning yourself. When Daniel finally returned home, he made a promise, a quiet one. He would still be kind, but he would no longer disappear in the process. Daniel learned that losing people who only value your sacrifice is not a loss. It is space being created. Space for health, space for peace, for a life that includes you. Months later, Daniel looked healthier, not just in body, but in spirit. His smile returned, this time without effort. He helped others again, but from a place of strength, not exhaustion. He learned to give without emptying himself. He finally understood a truth many learned too late. You cannot save others by drowning yourself. This story is not just about Daniel. It is about anyone who gives until there is nothing left. Anyone who believes their worth comes from sacrifice alone. Anyone who feels guilty for resting. Caring for yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. You matter too. If you don't protect your energy, health, and peace, life will force you to stop, and the stop will be painful. Take care of yourself first, not because you don't care about others, but because you cannot help anyone if you are broken. Don't live only for others. Live for yourself, too.